All right, next, we have another demo. This is really exciting. These two guys have been working on something called MCP-UI, which is about bringing UI into MCP clients. A lot has changed around this, especially in the last week or two. These two guys come to us all the way from Tel Aviv to come present here. Please welcome Liad and Ido from Monday.com.
So hi, everyone. I'm Salomon, creator of MCP-UI and moderator of the UI workgroup.
I'm Liad Yosef. I'm building MCP-UI, and I'm a moderator of the UI workgroup in the MCP committee. And today, we'll give you a glimpse to the future of UI. We're going to talk about... Oh. Yeah. MCP-UI, not MCP voice. Yeah, so like I said, I'm Liad Yosef. I'm building MCP-UI, and I'm a moderator as well in the UI workgroup of the MCP committee. And today we'll give you a glimpse to the future of UI. We'll talk about MCP-UI, which is the library that we built. We talk about the emerging standard of UI over MCP. We're going to show some demos, and we're going to show you the future of agentic UI. And Ido is going to demo on Postman.
So we've all experienced it. Chatting with AI can be very cumbersome and very clunky. We usually have to go to the web browser to complete even simple tasks, which is very annoying. Let's take e-commerce as a use case. And let's say I'm feeling frisky and I want to buy gray socks. So what happens here is that the model goes out to a text-based tool and will get back this long wall of text and just a bunch of links that I need to open one by one and go to the browser, which is completely useless. Luckily, when both the host and the server support MCP-UI, the game changes. What we can do now is take Postman that just added support for MCP-UI 2 days ago, and we'll pair it with a server for an online store that returns UI resources. And now we can ask, I can say, I want to buy blue shoes. And now it will go out to an MCP-UI tool. And instead of just getting a wall of text, we now get this really cool interactive UI catalog. And let's say that I really want to buy this shoe and I want to see more details. In the past, we would need to type it, which is also very annoying. What we can do now is just click. What happens when I just clicked it is that the UI communicated with the host and told it, OK, call the next tool, which is view more details. And now we get the same view that we would get in the browser. We can see all of the different details of the product. We can choose size. We can choose quantity. And let's say I want to buy 5 because I'm a reseller. And then we can click Add to Cart. Again, this would trigger another tool call. And we can see the checkout. So what we have here is actually an end-to-end flow to purchase something completely on the agent without going outside to the browser or anything else.
Yeah. So that's really cool, because all of the UI that you see here is not UI that Postman created. It's a UI that was received from the MCP server. So let's deep dive and see what happens if we inspect. Luckily, Postman allows us to inspect tool responses. So if we inspect one of the tool responses, we'll see that the response now contains not only the text that we used to from MCP tools, but also UI resources. And these UI resources will be in a very specific schema, a UI schema, which tells the host that these are embeddable UI resources by the MCP spec that the host can embed using the MCP-UI SDK. So if we'll take a look, we'll see that these UI are isolated from the host for security, and they only communicate with the host using events. So if I click checkout, nothing happens in the host. There's an event being sent outside, and the host decides what to do. These events usually signals user intents or tool calls or notifications. So this is one way of communication. And the host can also communicate things into the iframe. It can communicate custom CSS or render data or even responses to the user interactions. And all of these things are listed in the MCP-UI protocol. And some really exciting announcement that happened this week. Goose is now supporting MCP-UI, which is really amazing. Hats off to the Goose team. Shopify announced that they're going to support MCP-UI in all of their online stores, which is amazing. VS Code is considering supporting MCP-UI in VS Code, so please go to GitHub and upvote MCP-UI there. And the UI schema is going to be the official MCP-UI schema in the MCP protocol, which is super amazing. This is why we believe this is the future of the web.
Definitely. I think one of the cool things here is that we actually also fundamentally changed the way that we develop apps. For example, now when someone develops a tool with MCP-UI, they don't need to write an integration with every possible API. They can just delegate to the model and say, I want to schedule a meeting. And the model will use whatever MCP tool he has to do it with the user's calendar. What we've shown you here is just a glimpse of what MCP-UI can do. It allows apps to deliver rich branded experiences. It lets hosts provide best-of-breed experiences for the users without developing every possible widget, and gives the users native experience instead of just textual chat. That's the promise of MCP-UI. That's the future of agentic UI. Thank you.
Thank you.